Got me?
Okay. Yep, we got you. You got us?
Yep.
Good. I'm gonna mute you until we start, Matt. Not you, but us,
That's fine.
just just in case. All right. Can you hear us, Matt?
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Frenchie, do you want me to lead the meeting since Gary won't be with us?
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't have.
Oh, there should be like 3 pages. Sorry.
Oh, there, that
Which
was
is
fine.
running a little slow. And one for me too.
You don't get to see Matt.
Yeah, he's got a little going, so he didn't want to be on camera tonight. Matt's a little camera shy.
Yeah,
Matt,
you
I'm
know
gonna,
this shit.
I'm gonna shoot you an email real fast. This is a PDF, Matt, of, I'm sending it to, which address? Is the State Farm one okay?
Yeah, go ahead and send it to the State Farm one.
It's on the way to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
The reason you don't have it is I just got it.
No problem.
Looks like Michael Liss, our architect's jumping in here too. Hi, hi, Michael. You in, Michael? Can you hear us? All right. We'll give Michael a second to come in, but whenever you want to start, man, you're good.
So we have Michael as part of it. And then since Gary's not part of us tonight, I guess I'll lead the meeting and then announce a quorum because I think Marcy is there in the room with you all.
That is correct.
Okay, and so Marcy, you're going to have to make, I guess, a couple of motions here just to get approval. We'll first lead to the agenda, and we do have some additions and deletions. But I'll ask Marcy for the approval of the said agenda.
Oh, I'll make that motion.
And then do we announce the additions and deletions now, though, Frenchie?
I don't really have any, Matt.
Okay, perfect. All right,
I have
and then
none.
Marcy, do you make a motion to approve the minutes?
I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. And then the financial report as of January 31st, 2021, and the assets in the checking accounts in the general fund at BankStar, $651,118.69. In the capital reserve at BankStar, $615,463.69. In the health reimbursement at BankStar, we've got $10,016.32 for a total list of assets of $1,276,598.70. And then under the current liabilities, we have $1,359.84 in payroll liabilities. And then total income expense for this period, income $720,459.16 with the expenses of $60,190.39. So Marcy, could you make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as read?
I make that motion.
Okay, and then we need a motion to approve the ordinance for disbursement and paying of the bills.
I'll make that motion.
Good, thank you. All in favor, I'd say aye. Okay, that passes. So Brian, the fire marshal's report.
Yeah. Let me get there, sorry.
We're kind of flying through this pretty quick. So if I get too quick, slow me down.
No, you're fine. For the month of January, there were no building permits issued, no fees charged, and no fees collected.
Okay,
That's what
So-
you did under that.
Brian, we'll go ahead and get you into the chief's report then.
Yeah, for the month of January, we had a really busy month. We ran 95 calls for the month of January. I think everybody kind of saw on Facebook and probably saw the large column of smoke on the 28th up off of Southern Oaks. We ran a pretty large barn that had caught on fire, outbuilding slash shop, gymnasium. It was a pretty massive building and a very large fire loss to the tune of about $800,000. Unfortunately, it was a full loss. The fire was past the point of no return by the time we got there. Our crews did a excellent job of keeping the fire from spreading to the house next door. So they did a very good job with all of that. And that happens to be two of the ones or three of the ones sitting here. So good job. Thank you. Appreciate it. We're working on the comprehensive year-end report that'll be done for the March board meeting. We're still working through some of the CAD issues that we have discussed. There are some fixes and some things have been done to address that and some more stuff on the table. So we'll continue to report on that and keep the board in the loop of anything major with the CAD issues. Crews are working hard to train on the new pumper. Everybody's had a chance to see it. We're hoping for the next week or two, getting that thing in service. However, the weather has not been very conducive of being outside and flowing water. So they're working as hard as they can to do it. So no major issues with COVID. Cases obviously continue to decrease across the area, which is a good thing. So there's no specific COVID report this month. In your board packet, I included a hard copy of the final audit. I made a soft copy of it or a copy of it and put it in there last month for approval, but that's yours. Nothing changed from what we presented last month to this month. So what you approved last month is the final audit for the year. So the 6 new employees hired under the Fire Act grant started on the 1st of February. They're doing great. I'm really excited. I think we hired a great group of guys. They've been working really hard over the past 2 weeks, learning the ways around here, training on trucks and equipment, and getting ready to rock and roll on shift. The first shift day for these crews, and they'll be spread amongst the 3 shifts, but House 2 will officially be open 24/7 on the 14th, Valentine's Day. So that's some awesome news moving forward, and I think they'll be a good asset to the district for sure. Stephanie Jackson has started her new position as Community Service Division Coordinator and the Office Manager. She has already taken a massive load off my plate, and we've gotten more done in the past 3 days than we have in the past couple of years, just trying to keep up with everything. So it's been a huge blessing to have her in there and helping out in that position for sure. So I believe we were reimbursed for some additional CARES funds. There was 2 unexplained deposits. We talked about this CARES Funding Act last month. 2 deposits showed up without explanation from Jefferson County in our bank account. So I can only assume that that was the 3rd CARES Act disbursement. It was roughly $4,000 more that we got off the CARES fund. I never received any correspondence or anything from the county, so I'm guessing that's what it was. It was not tax money. It did not come from the same disbursement mechanism, so I can only assume that's what it is. So all that money has evidently run out. We're not able to get any more. So CARES funding is done forward. We're still working through some stuff on selling the old truck, and we've got several options that we're going to discuss in closed session, including an offer on the table. That's why it's going to be in closed session due to the fact that it's a bidding process and somebody has made an offer. So no major problems to really report with the fleet at this time. February will be the month that they'll have their large annual inspections and get all the oil changes and all the big stuff done by McQueen in rescue repair who come out on site and do all of that. Dan's been taking care of everything and doing a pretty good job. He's been fairly busy around here lately, trying to keep up with the fleet, just like everybody has, but nothing major to report problem-wise with all of that. So, we may need to consider replacing a valve on 6523. We got a workaround for that for now, but we may have to come back and replace that in the future. Training division for the month of January, members completed 233 hours of training, which is great. We're excited to announce too, and I think you guys probably saw an article in the Leader. We were given what we call an acquired structure to train on over at the farm across the street. It's an old caretaker's house. It's in pretty good shape. So they'll get several months of good training on it, and then at the end there, we'll have a day to where we do multiple scenarios and burns through it, and then we'll eventually burn the house down to the ground. So it's some of the best training that we can provide our firefighters in that arena. So, Community Services Division, the car seat installation for Jefferson County Health Department has begun. Stephanie's she's already done 3 or 4 or 5 over the past week or so. So that partnership is working well. In the month of February, Stephanie's kicked off a smoke detector campaign as well. So we're trying to get the word out. We've got a stash of about probably 90 to 100 smoke detectors that we were able to give out to anybody that out in the community that potentially needs one. And we may even get to the point to where we start carrying a few smoke detectors on the trucks. So if it's a call that we're on that they need some, we can instantaneously install it and get it going for them. So we've kind of begun the marketing, updating the marketing plan for the tax increase. The campaign will really hit hardcore in March for the April election. So we don't want to start too early, but we also don't want to start too late on that. So we will also discuss under new business some changes to state laws that could affect the tax increase and future plans of the district.
Perfect. Thank you,
So I
Brian.
got my chief report.
So the next item is the certificate of election from Mr. Waller.
That is correct. I just included in your packet a copy of the final ballot terms and how it's going to be laid out on the ballot. It's all been signed and submitted back to the county clerk's office, so we are good to go with that.
Perfect, thank you.
Well,
All right, in old business, we have the pre-design project update.
yeah, I'd like to invite, jump on here, Mr. Michael List, who I believe is joining us via the web there as well too. If he kind of wants to jump in here and go over some stuff. Matt, I just got some copies of some renderings today. I'll have to get that to you. I didn't get a chance to do it this afternoon. My apologies. We just got that today.
You're fine.
We wrapped up the project basically. We're done. We've got a great design on the firehouse, I think, for the future of the district. Now it'll be trying to get from point A to point B, obviously. So, Michael, do you want to jump in there, sir? I think you're muted, Michael. We can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Try that now. Nope. Still can't hear you, Michael. No. Sorry, Michael, we can't hear you. I tell you what, Michael, you want to work on that? I think it's on your end, and then we can maybe circle back to you here in a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, we got you now. We got you
Oh, now am I on?
Yeah, you're good now, sir.
Okay, great. Sorry. Basically, we conceived the building as an all or partial increments with 3 phases. The critical one is the ambulance, the fire truck bays and the crew quarters. If budget permits, we would add public spaces along to that. And within the public space has an area that could serve as a storm shelter. And then the 3rd phase would be the admin offices. So depending on how the campaign goes and people and your comfort with the budget, it could do it all or a phased approach. There is a diagram in that packet that has a floor plan with colors showing the phase 1, which are the fire truck bays and support services for the fire trucks. 2nd phase, again, it's a public space, a training center, and then some like a conference room in the front end, more formal front entry area and waiting area. And the third one is an office suite. And in the cost estimates that we've worked on with Brian and Jason, we've got it broken out that way as well. The renderings that I've got and the elevations that I have in that packet for you show all three phases built, but we've looked at it as well and can build it with not all the parts, and it looks okay, but obviously the more you can build it one time, the better. And then there's a site plan there. We've tried to minimize how much disruption to the site. The building lays out, we think, really well in terms of the site access, preserving the existing road into the site, and using some of the drives that exist. We'll have to evaluate how much of the drive is suitable for fire truck, or if some of it has to be torn out and built with either a higher base, a thicker base for asphalt or concrete. And then obviously, as you get close to the building, the more concrete you have, the more durable it is in terms of maintenance. We've got a little generator yard back in the rear, so it's using your generator. And we've got to meet code, we'd have to have that in a storm-proof enclosure, so it's protected against tornado. So that's what we put in the estimate. I think more than ample parking for public use of the training center at nights or for visiting the site. No parking conflicts with the fire truck access or egress from the site. I think that's close to what I've got, if that helps.
Appreciate all your hard work on this, Michael.
Appreciate it. Well, it's been a joint effort. We've done a number of back and forth meetings and fine-tuned things. So hopefully it's what everybody would feel comfortable with.
Michael, correct me if I'm wrong here. We're looking at approximately, without taking into consideration all the options or alternative bids, 13,582 square feet. Is that close to what we're looking at, you think?
Let's see. I didn't really think through all you're talking about all phases?
Yeah, the entire building itself.
I didn't really add it up, to tell you the truth. I was
No,
focusing in parts.
I did off your sheet, and I think that's roughly what we're looking at.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, the base bid's about 16 grand for all phases.
16, what now?
About 16 grand for all phases. It's about 6,151 for the phase one. Let's see. Bear with me. Let me double check. No, I'm sorry. It's about 9,000 for the first phase. That's including the apparatus bays, the support areas, and the crew quarters. The public spaces is about 4,300, and the admin offices is about $3 grand. So I'm adding up about 16,352.
Okay.
If everything were built, not counting the alternate bids, which are fairly small in terms of square footage add. On the back page of the estimate, I list the different alternates, and on the floor plan, I've tagged them. Alternates are like adding an additional truck bay, having a service pit under one bay, whether or not you have additional drive-through doors, whether you add the fitness center, and whether or not you add the canopy at the crew quarters. That's on the last page of the cost estimate I sent you. Oh, and the hose tower is an alternate bid as well. Does that help?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And I can send you the latest takeoffs I've got.
Money.
Brian, what's the next step? Is it just hoping the tax increase passes and then go from there?
Yep, pretty much, Matt, that's where we're at.
Okay.
I know, Michael, I think you did a great job. Looks good. For sure. And we'll just, see where things go.
You know, if anybody has any questions on any particular part, and Brian, I can get you any more backup, you know, whatever helps you as well.
Okay. Well,
Thank
that'll
you.
work, sir. We'll ponder over all these and, we'll circle back around here, shortly. How's that sound?
Sure. You know, and whatever graphics you need for your advertising and
Okay.
any verbiage I can write up. I started writing some up, but I didn't include with this packet.
Perfect. You guys got it?
Everybody good?
Yep, we're good, Matt.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Okay, Brian, we'll move on to the sick time policy.
Yeah, after, review, we kind of talked about this at the last, board meeting. I made some adjustments to the sick time policy. Basically, my recommendation at this point in time is to leave it as is. And continue to allow our employees, if they contract COVID, time off of work, paid by the district for one reason and one reason only at this point in time. If we don't offer them paid time off, they can turn around and file a workers' comp claim because it's presumptive, since they're a firefighter, that they got it on duty. So it's an automatic workers' comp claim. And if we have 5 or 6 people that come down with it, we're going to have to have 5 or 6 claims if we don't pay them. Or charge them their sick time. You can still turn around and file a workers' comp claim as well too. So some of the questions that had been asked to some of the workers' comp carrier were vaccinated employees versus non-vaccinated employees. And basically their answer was, we'll cross that bridge in court when we come. So until the presumptive language is taken out of the workers' comp, or there's some other change on the workers' comp laws, it could be much more costly to the district to have multiple workers' comp claims. I don't like it. I don't think it's right at this point in time, but I think it is what it is, and this is the right way to move forward with this.
Yep.
Any thoughts, Matt?
No, I'm good with that, Frenchie, as long as you're good.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on to new business. And the first item is the office manager bank account access.
Yeah, I'd like to see if you guys had an issue and we could include it in the minutes. I don't want to put Stephanie as a signer on the account. I don't think she needs that, but I think she needs online access in order to download the statements and maybe transfer money between accounts if necessary. Should I croak over dead tomorrow or something happens to some of us, so she at least has access to that.
And I personally don't have a problem. Do we need a motion or anything, or?
Yeah, I would say if we had that in the form of a motion in the minutes and everybody was in agreement, that would probably look better to be thanked.
Okay, Marcy, do you want to make that motion?
I will.
Thank you.
Perfect.
All right, and then the next item is purchases.
Yeah, got some early year-on purchases that we unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, we need to make these purchases moving forward. We are running dangerously low on fire hose. We have been putting off purchases of fire hose for 3 or 4 years now and just kind of using what we got and pushing it off at the hopes of getting a grant. Turns out it's a pretty bad idea to do that because then all at once you need hose. So we're requesting at this point in time to purchase 10 sections, 10 50-foot sections of 1 3/4 fire attack hose for $1,120. So all come out of the new equipment budget moving forward. Some items we need for the new truck as well too. We need 2 what are called Streamlight portable lights. They're big tall LED lights that when we're inside a house fire doing overhaul or doing whatever, we can set up some portable lighting there so we can see what we're doing at night. We would like to purchase a portable generator as well too to have on that truck. A lot of these lights have backup 110 power that we can plug into if the batteries go dead on them. We need to get a 12,000-pound winch for the new truck as well too. That'll serve for pulling a patient up the hill, stabilizing the vehicle, a whole bunch of stuff. And then a wiring kit for the winch. With those total requests of on a new equipment of $3,449.33. On top of that, for our new folks, we had budgeted $15,000 this year for turnout gear. I'd like to get approval to move forward with that purchase and get that turnout gear so we can get our new folks and our new hires properly fitted with turnout gear.
Okay. I guess I can make that motion to accept the bids you have, and I'm fine. Marcy, you all in favor?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and then Pritchard, we got the legislative update.
There's some not so good stuff going on in Jefferson City. Unfortunately, they are, and specifically there's a representative with the last name of Igo out of St. Charles. He's introduced a piece of legislation that will take what we can tax on personal property and lowers it all the way down to 0.000000001. I forgot how many zeros. There's a whole bunch of zeros. So it effectively eliminates our ability to tax on anything personal property wise. It's the same thing that was in there last year. Unfortunately, but fortunately with COVID, that got swatted away and Jeff City pretty much shut down for the year. So I've run through 4 different budget simulations of getting the tax increase versus not getting the tax increase and what that would look like and how that will affect everything. If we do not get the tax increase and this becomes law to where we can't bill for personal property, it's an instantaneous almost $160,000 loss to the Hillsborough Fire Protection District. In contrast, that's darn near 15 to 20% of our budget, depending on how you look at that moving forward. If you take the grant money and all that stuff out of it, so that's a pretty unfortunate healthy chunk that comes out of there. I was talking to Dr. Isaacson at the Hillsborough School District. They're looking at a $4 million loss if this goes through, and it's got steam. I think we've got some of our organizations and some of the lobbyists in Jeff City fighting it and working on fighting it, but I don't know. We got a completely Republican-controlled House, a completely Republican-controlled Senate, and they will do whatever they need to do to buy seats in their House. And if you do this, look at me. I cut your taxes. Vote for me. That's all that this is. So
So we need to contact our local elected officials on both sides of the Senate and the House, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think some joint letters and stuff like that's gonna be coming out from, some of the professional organizations within here within Jefferson County, excuse me. And it probably will not be a bad idea if this thing continues, for the board to consider a joint letter, moving forward. And I understand the battle around personal property tax. I really do. However, that money's staying local. It's going to support your neighbor's jobs. It's going to support your fire protection, your school, and all that. So it's not like it's being sent to the federal government to be wasted on some entitlement program or something. It's being used right here locally. So it's really a tough pill for me to swallow. So, and some of the other budget simulations, if you guys have any questions about that, ask me, and we can work through some of these numbers. And we're on top of this and paying attention to this, moving forward. And I don't want to scare anybody whatsoever, but it just kind of is what it is, unfortunately, where we're at with all this. So,
Right.
We'll just have to see how things play out and see what that does. The second big issue on the legislative update is the minimum wage. Firefighters are paid very differently than anybody else out there. Our hours worked per year, firefighters on shift is based off of 2,756 hours per year, whereas a normal 9 to 5 person out there, a normal job is 2,080 hours per year. So while our hourly rate looks much lower on paper, starting firefighters is $12.79 per hour. If you average that out on a 2080 hour work week, and I get they don't work 2080, they work much more than that, but their starting salary based on that $16.94, which is above the minimum wage. If that would ever go into law, we would have to raise our starting pay basically from $35,250 up to $41,340 to comply with that minimum wage law. If that happens, with the way a firefighter is paid, pending there's no fix for that on the federal level, which I'm sure the International Association of Fire Chiefs is all over that, trying to get a fix in there. And I'm not as worried about this bill passing. I don't think there'll be a federal minimum wage hike to $15 an hour. I know there was an executive order done, but I think we've got tight enough numbers in the House and Senate on the federal level that it may not pass. But if it does, it's something we're going to have to look at and worry about for sure moving forward. So, we'll just have to see how that plays out, man. I don't know.
We'll cross that bridge if and when it happens.
Yep, hopefully it doesn't.
Yep.
But I think it will be a stimulus bill.
Right.
I don't know.
Just sit tight and see what's coming next. All right, the heavy rescue trailer.
As I'm sitting here telling you that we're going to lose money and ask for more money. We talked about getting the heavy rescue trailer. We got it. We got that from Saline Valley. It's time to outfit it with some equipment moving forward. We are slated, and I think I put in the minutes to take it out of the equipment and apparatus fund, which is fine. We can absolutely do that. But I'd like to request we use $10,000 to get some lumber, some tools, and get that trailer ready to rock and roll and respond in the event of some sort of a natural disaster. I think it's a huge asset to this side of the county on the south end. We don't have anything like this. So I'd like to request a $10,000 out of the reserve funds to get that done, if you guys are okay with that. Yes. Matt, what do you think?
Sorry, I was on mute for some reason. But did we inherit that trailer, or are they just loaning it to us?
No, it's ours. If you remember, we signed an intergovernmental agreement with
Gotcha.
Saline Valley for that trailer a few months back.
Okay, yeah, then I'm in favor of it. I mean, I think it did come in handy, or they had to come down for the DeSoto building collapse. You never know when that could happen here.
That is correct, yes.
So I would make that motion to accept the $10,000 for the heavy rescue trailer.
Great.
Okay, it's time to go into our closed session, it appears.
Yes. Okay. Matt, give me a second. I'm gonna stop streaming live